Welcome to another episode of the Ohio High School Film Room. In this episode, I have Henry Raynor of the Saint Ignatius Wildcats. During his junior season, Henry led the Wildcats to a 15-9 record and a district semifinal appearance. Henry, it's great to have you on for another Film Room episode.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so Henry, the first thing that I noticed while watching your game is you really move well without the basketball and kind of make yourself available. What are like some spots on the floor that you really try and look to, and especially when your guards are driving, you just fill open space really well? Where does that come out of your game?
Well, I've been playing with Chase. He was our starting point guard this year. I've been playing with him for a long time, so I read his game really well. So usually when he tries, he usually is able to find the lanes in the middle and starts driving, and I try to, drop off sometimes into the the gray area. So then he will draw my defender, and I will come in for just easy basket down there, or just he's driving, or any other guard just driving from the baseline. I try to space up towards the free throw line and just kind of be able to dive down just in case my guy goes to help, and I just have an easy bucket too.
Do you guys work on any of those sort of stuff in practice, like going from block to block or diving when you're free throw line extended on the drive?
I mean, we do. We have one of our assistant coaches, Saint Ignatius. He played for the Cavs for 10 plus years. So we always we break off into groups at practice, and we usually do work on big moves, positioning and stuff like that. So definitely.
You don't really do a ton of dribbling very often, but when you do, you find ways to be efficient with your dribbles and really get where you want to go with the basketball. What are just some things that you look to do when you have the ball on the perimeter?
When I'm on the perimeter, I use the spin move a lot. That's, I'd say, one of my, I'm very confident with the move. So sometimes when I'm driving to the right, I can finish with my left really well. So if the defender cuts me off because they know I'm a righty, I can just spin back to my left with hit an easy layup. So I generally look for that. Also, I just use my length to my advantage. When I'm face up, I'm on the wing, I'm able to get by a guy really easily and just use my length to separate myself to create an easy finish.
Henry, we've got 5 dunks from you from these 3 games. Break down these 2 alley-oops against VASJ, because this was kind of in the fourth quarter. They're trying to speed you guys up with the full court press, and you take advantage with a couple nice alley-oops.
Yeah, so that game we played without Chase. So, we lost one of our, primary ball handlers, but our guards did a really good job of breaking down the press. And so when they had they put a lot of guys up at the top of the press, and there was only one guy back. So, once we just got the ball to the middle, it was an easy find to John. And, I pride myself on my ability to run the floor.
Yeah, and then you see here against Richmond Heights, you talk about you running the floor. The first play, you're out on the breakaway and nobody's really near you. And then the second play, you really beat their 2 players down the court and kind of catch them sleeping in transition. So that was really nice.
At that point, we were starting to break away, and I think that it was kind of this, kind of just gave up a bit. So I just took advantage and, ran the floor, and Chase found me. So it worked out, yeah.
Yeah, the second dunk especially, I think it put you guys up 12 or 14 points, and you guys were on a nice little run there. And then but the last dunk against McKinley, just nice, one dribble and power up really quick. So, Henry, you are a force on the offensive glass and getting putbacks. A couple of these plays, you don't finish probably as early as you wanted to. Kind of dual question here. What are you looking for on the offensive rebound? And then what do you think you can improve on some of these clips of finishing the first try that you get the ball under the basket?
Yeah, so when I'm looking for rebounds, I'm able to read the ball really well where it's going. So and also I'm able to I have good range down there. So in the first clip I was able to the ball, even though it flew over my shoulder, I was still able to get it. So I just good range down there and good ability to read the ball. But finishing, I definitely think sometimes I probably over-dribbled or overused my fake down there. So I want to be able to work on just, in the ball just go right up, or in that one clip where I just put a ball right back up in midair. So definitely going to look to do that more, and just being more concise with my moves, or just one moving up or right straight up. So I think sometimes when I do the too many, I try to do too much down there, it really kind of messes with my finishes.
I would say one of your biggest strengths on the basketball court is your ability to finish with both hands. As we see through this video, you really are a force with your left hand, being able to do a bunch of different sort of spin moves, dribble moves, whether that's on the putback as well, to get the ball to your left hand. How much work has gone into improving your left hand and being able to finish not only with your right, but also with your left?
A lot of work, definitely. I'd say sometimes I'm even more comfortable just using my left in some games than my right. So, we're just working. We do post workouts every day in practice for 20, 30 minutes, working on both hands. But it's really good to go up against competition and just practice, finishing strong with my left. So I'd say it's definitely credit to the guys on my team who push me every day in practice and really try to because all my teammates know that I'm a righty. So in practice, you have to switch it up a bit. So I think that's just really helped build my confidence with my left hand. And also just, in games, people assume that I'm always going to go right. But, I just hit him with a quick spin move in some of these clips, and I'm able to finish the left really well. So I definitely rely on my left a lot.
Yeah, that spin move seems to be your favorite move. To me, is that something that you really like to do when you catch the ball to go up with your left?
Yeah, definitely. I love the spin move. I've always used it even since I was junior high. It's always been one of my go-to moves.
Only took 3 3-pointers in the 3 games that I watched, but you did go 2 for 3. Where are you as an outside shooter in your development?
As an outside shooter, I'd say I definitely have the ability to shoot, but I'd say not right now. It's just the confidence to shoot. So throughout the year, I only took about 16 threes, and I made 50% of them. So in our end of the year meeting, Coach Cam was like, "Henry, man, why don't you shoot more?" I was like, I got you next year, Coach. But this year, I definitely think it was just a confidence thing, because I remember a specific time when we went to Miami. I had the ball in the corner, and Coach was right behind me on the bench. And he was about 4 or 5 feet off. I could have shot it. So, but I didn't. I passed it out. But I remember going to the timeout after that possession, and Coach was like, "You should shoot that next time." So I definitely think it's just a confidence thing, because I have the ability to shoot, but I just don't use it to my advantage. So that's definitely a thing I'm going to work on for next year.
Henry, as a forward, you don't really have the offense run through you. There aren't a ton of passing opportunities, but you do show some pretty nice vision, especially the 2 plays where you grab the offensive rebound and are able to lead the fast break. Can you break down those 2 plays for me?
So in the first play, Coach Cam towards the start of the year told me, if I get the rebound and I can start the offense, I can get the ball going forward. So on the first clip, I draw Dan's defender away from him, so he was left him wide open in the corner. So when I was able to find them, their defense just kind of collapsed, and it led to an easy bucket for Will down low. And then the second clip, I was just able to grab the rebound and again initiate the offense, taking the ball down. But Chase did a good job of beating his man, so I paid him back for all the times that he's passed it to me on the fast break. So I just hit him with a nice pass, and it was definitely really good, great, really boosted the momentum that game, because we were just starting to break away and on the scoreboard. So definitely just always try to find the guys if they're open. So yeah.
And then this last play here, you get double teamed, put the ball on the floor, and then you really can't recover. How often did you get double teamed, and where do you feel like you are at reading where that kind of help side defense comes? Because right here, you lose the basketball.
So I definitely towards I'd say halfway through the season, I started to get double teamed every game, because through the first few games, I was able to score really easily in the post, but then a lot of teams started sending double teams. So, I mean, this game was earlier in the year, so I definitely didn't see it as much then. But it's definitely – we worked on a ton in practice. So sometimes I just put the ball down way too early, and we worked on just getting the ball in the post and kind of surveying around, just waiting for the double team. And my teammates did a great job of calling it out. But that time I just put the ball down way too early, and then the little guard came in and just swiped it away.
Standing at 6'7", you're going to be one of the bigger players on the court, and obviously you grab a lot of rebounds from that. But one play here against Kent McKinley, you kind of get out-muscled by Brent Walker. If you could just kind of walk me through what happens on that play.
Also in that play, the guard shoots it from about the free throw line, and then Walker just comes in and kind of bumps me towards out of the way. So he just had better positioning than me, and then the ball bounced towards him, and so then he was just able to hit one easy move. He was a really skilled big guy. He was really physical that game. So he was just able to bump me once towards the free throw line and just get an easy bucket. So He just beat me to position there.
And then you also see there your hands aren't straight up. You're kind of hunched over, and he leans into you, gets the and one bucket right there. So that's another thing. Just either being straight up or just not falling in that situation when they're so close to the basket.
I hit his hands when I was like kind of just over him a bit. I hit his hands on the way up, so that's what led to the and one.
So Henry, you played a lot of center this year for Saint Ignatius, and you're really tasked with being the main rim protector here. We have a bunch of blocks here. Any one of these really stick out to you as your favorite block from these games?
The one against VSJ where the guy got the pass through, but I took away the wide open layup and just glassed him because that was in the fourth quarter of that game, and we were still kind of close at that point. So it was just a big, gave our team a big boost and led us to win the game, definitely. So I think that was my favorite one. Also, I got up higher than I thought I would there. I thought, why not try to glass them? But, then I did. So, definitely my favorite one of the year.
What are some things you kind of look for when you're playing help side to not overcommit to the block, but still provide that rim protection?
So things I look for is if the guard, I make sure when I'm down there, I try to stunt, so I kind of jab towards the guard if he's driving to try to, keep him away from scoring. Because if I go overcommit and help, then he'll have an easy pass right to my guy for an easy bucket. So definitely just try to stunt, make sure I know he's committing to shooting the shot. So then I go for the help. So limit, limit his easy dump offs to the big that I was guarding.
In this modern style basketball, a lot of switching. You're occasionally going to find yourself on the perimeter. In these clips, it's kind of a bit of a difference because in some of these, you're going up against Jonah Wag, a kind of skilled guard. And in other ones, you're going up against Josiah Harris, a 6'8" forward who also has a lot of skill on the outside. What are some differences defensively when you're switched onto a guard versus going up against somebody more your size who also has the ability from the perimeter?
Well, in the VS game, I was matched up against Jonah by my coach for the most of the game. So, when I'm guarding the guards, I go up there with confidence. I'm willing to go out and guard by the half court line, and so I just try to keep him in front of me. Don't let him shift too much because if he shifts too much my way, he's able to blow by me easy. So I just try to we do a lot of angle drills in practice. So I just kind of treat it like that. Cut him off and just make sure to get back and just cut him off again. So just not allow an easy drive or easy dump off to a big. Guarding bigs though, they're definitely it's definitely a lot easier because as a big, we're not as fast as the guards and the dribble moves, just aren't there yet, So guarding a big is just I can stay off them a bit because I'm really long, so I'm able to block threes. I've blocked a few this year, so I can use my length to my advantage and be able to, kind of sag off on them just so I don't allow any easy drives.
Henry, you guys didn't run a ton of full court press defense, but on these two plays, you are involved in turnovers here. What are your responsibilities in this sort of zone press scheme?
Well, in our zone press scheme, the bigs are generally we send them back. The three guards are up front. We kind of just we stay in like a 1-1-1-2 formation, just kind of break off depending on where the ball goes. And so the bigs' duties in this are to not let any passes go behind them, but also kind of bait the guards into throwing a pass to the bigs and just kind of cutting it off. So in the second clip there, I was able to read the pass really well and just kind of cut it off, and it led to some fast break points. So and then in the first clip, when the ball gets that close, it's on the 3-point line. Coach wants us to go up and defend. And let the other big drop back to worry about, protecting the rim.
Now we got a couple clips of you in zone defense. The first one, you're in the center, and eventually with the way the ball rotates, you have to go to the corner before dropping down. And then the second clip, you're on the wing. What are sort of the differences in your zone scheme when you're playing the middleman and also on one of the wings at the bottom?
Well, so in the wings, or when we're playing the middleman, our zone, we were really long this year, lengthwise. So when I was in the middle, I was able to move really well, get around. So I'd say in that first clip, our zone kind of got broken down a little bit there because generally when I'm in the middle, it's the guy on my left's job to go guard the corner, but he went up to guard the wing, so it kind of left the guy open in the corner. So we were able to make a nice switch when the ball got down to the gray area and get me back in my original spot. And when I'm on the wing, I can just go out there and really defend. I don't have to worry about. I can play aggressively because I got 4 guys behind me in a zone defense. So it just allows me to play loose and try to stop the guy at the 3-point line, maybe get a steal.
Last 2 plays I want to highlight are 2 end of the quarter shot contests. On both these plays, you do a really good job of getting your hand up with your length and making it a more difficult shot for the shooter trying to get up a last-second shot. Did you know in both of these situations that the clock was running down and the players really had no options but to shoot the basketball when they caught it?
Yeah. I'm definitely very aware of the clock when in game situations because it can mean the difference. You look at when J.R. Smith did the thing in the finals that one time, you got to always be aware of the clock. So definitely there. So I just I know that they're not going to be able to make a dump off pass to my guy and for an easy bucket because they won't have time to. The pass won't get there in time. So with my length, I can really contest from anywhere. So I just go try to make it the hardest shot possible for the guard.
We'll wrap it up for this episode. Thank you so much for coming on. Is there any one goal you kind of have for your senior season at Saint Ignatius?
One goal, definitely. I want to make it to regionals and states. I think we can do it. We have some good experience. I've played varsity for 2 years starting, and we have John Efforts, great player, a lot of great young guys coming up. I've been working out a lot with Will Jantek. I think he'll be really a good piece for us next year. So definitely just to try to make it as far as we can in the tournament this year.